Hello, welcome back to part 2 of the installation in my 99601 locomotive. What we're gonna do today is place the decoder, hook it up to this one, and place the sound module. Just gonna fit it. How will it all fit into the locomotive? Now it's very easy to just stick something on and screw it in place and hey, presto, you're done. But if you do that, you can later on find that you have wires running somewhere where they get caught on something and get squeezed, squashed or whatever, and you have to do something all over and you have malfunctions. So basically how it looked like, it was like this. This one was here and the power board was sitting here, like so. So we're gonna take away the power board like that. I'm gonna stick the decoder in like this. Now, as you will notice, there are more pins, outputs here, or connections here, than there are here. That's because this side of the decoder holds the motor input, output, and the track inputs, also the lights. So, and some other functions are mounted here. These are all function outputs, except the top one here. This is the positive connection and so on. This one can be used to control or hook up a power buffer. And I have some ideas about power buffers and I'm gonna try them out and post them on YouTube as well. So, as I told you, this is the sushi bus, and yeah, well, this is basically the decoder. What I'm gonna do is I want to install the decoder here on the board, and with what came with the decoder were these double-sided tape patches, and well, I'm gonna stick them underneath and like so. Oh. I'm just seeing this, and you will probably see this as well. Maybe not that sharp, but this pad is not high enough for these pins of the connector. These through-hole pins from the connector are higher than the double-sided tape. That means if I'm going to stick this on here, it wouldn't stick because it stands on these pins. And if it would stick, I would make a little connection to the lead block. So have to find some other option. And here is another piece of double-sided tape, and we're gonna see if that would raise the board high enough so that it will not come. It will rise it above. Yep, it will. It's just what we need. So cut it to size, peel that one off, did the same here, and just press it on. Both on. Now we're gonna place it on the loco What you should do is use a piece of cloth to clean up the LED block a little bit, because there could be some grease on. What I wanted to do is I'm gonna put the motor connections and track connections over to the furthest far side. Oop, already sticking. And it's on. So now that it is on, what you could do is check with a continuity meter the connections there. And let's see if we are making contact with the LED block. So just stick the probe in. Now these are fluke probes and they're pretty darn sharp, so I should be able to make contact. Connect the screws, nothing happens. Pushing it a little bit, as you can see, nothing happens. This is important to check that you don't make contact to metal inside locomotives. There you can see on the LED I make contact and you will hear the beep. Best to check that. Always make sure that you do not make any contact via metal objects in locomotives. If you have a different brand, let's say Marklin gauge track 1, then there are metal locomotives, and if you place a decoder on it and just stick it on and your tape isn't high enough, you could run the risk of burning out your decoder, and that would be a shame. Now this sound module here bolts on like so, and it comes over the motor connections. These are the standard track connections from your LGB locomotives. Now as you see, there is this little connector on there. We're not going to use that anymore, so what I found is that I can take it apart. And I'm just going to do that. Comes apart like so. It's a little bit fiddly. Comes apart like so. And then you have the spring contacts there. Be able to pull them out. You can pull them out with a small piece of small pliers or with your fingers, as I'm doing. You can just take them out, as you can see, and then you can pull the wires out. What you also have now is that you have almost pre-stripped wires. You can take them apart a little bit, and that's really handy. Now we have these wires and you want to know which is which. LGB has got the schematics in the locomotive boxes, and they are all accounted and tell you what it is, what is what. But if you have a locomotive which uses different colors, which is possible, then you might take a look at the motor block. It has some markings on there, and the green wire should go to GN. The brown wire comes next, and that is BN, and then we have WS, that is white, and then we have GE, which is yellow. Now these markings are a little bit strange, but they're German and they stand for grün, braun, weiß und gelb. So yes, I do speak German. So we can strip the wires and they're not long and not enough stripped, so we're gonna do it a little bit more. I use my side cutters. If you don't have the feel for it, you better use a wire stripper, and that's better. We need to twist them. Always twist your wires. So, as I told you, these wires are connected to the motor block from LGB, and they are correctly connected on there. But if you have different colors, or you don't know are they all the same size color, that also can happen because somebody else have fumbled around in it, you can use your multimeter again. Hope you hear that. And just probe which wire is what. So let's say we take the green wire and we're gonna see if it's connected to the track. Now I'm putting it on the track and nothing happens. Put it on another side of the other rail, nothing happens. So is this a motor wire? We shall see. Now I'm hooking up the brown wire and I'm probing the furthest away track. There you hear it. We have connection. Yes? Now we're gonna do the white one. Other track, nothing happens. I'm gonna connect it to the white and see if that is. Yep. The white wire is the track closest to me. Now that means that if I take the green and the yellow one, it should beep, and that's your motor. So that's how you can find out what is your motor and what are your track wires. If you have a good manual and you know your colors of LGB, then you can of course use that. But I forgot, so I had to measure. I didn't want to Google it. Otherwise I just Google it. And of course Lenz has used these really tiny screws, and my screwdriver, as you can see, is too big. So I need to go and look for another screwdriver. Got a fitting screwdriver. Yay, it fits. And now we're gonna hook up the motor wires first. Why the motor wires first? Well, as you can see in the manual, they're the first two. If you put the manual like so, then these two are the ones. Now it says on this little piece board, it says M2, M1. Now the thing is, with these connections, if you have the M1 connection, if you want to keep the train running in that direction, when you push the forward movement for forward, you want to go in that motion direction, because this is the front, this is the rear. Then you need to keep the brown and the green wire together. So, and the same goes with the white and the yellow. If you put them together and you put it on a normal transformer, it will go. If you have everything connected up right, then and you have more locos on there, they should all go in the forward direction. So we're gonna do the same on here, but these two are the two motor wires and the tracks are going here. Now motor 2, this is connection motor 2, and this is track 2. So if you have here motor 2 and you put the brown wire, which is motor wire. So what we're going to do is we're going to stick the green wire in motor 2, which is here. Of course you have different type of decoders, and some come with wires, but what you should always do is read your manual. I cannot say that more than I will not say that enough, and it is always to read your manual. So the yellow one is gonna be the motor 1 connection, which is here. My big finger is in the way, so stick it in. If you want a really good job, you could tin the wires, but these connectors have wire protection, so it should be okay. Because I want the brown wire together with the green wire, because that's the right side of the locomotive, and the right side of the locomotive, the right track goes to the right side of the motor. So this one will go into track 2, which is this connection. It says so on the board, so just stick it in. Presto. And the white one goes into track 1. It says on the board G1. And now we have hooked up our decoder motor wise. Of course we have all these wires. These two are from the 2 front signals here, and we have some wires hanging out of the cap, out of the top here. This is a smoke generator, and this is the front light, and we have this ribbon switch cable which we need, or we have to do something with, because there are 2 more wires, 3 more lights at the rear of the locomotive. You cannot see it, and of course there is the cab light, so that all has to go in. But first we're gonna see if we have this functioning correctly. And to do that, as you can see, the locomotive is on a track, and I have this plugged into my digital command station, and we're just gonna turn that on. And here, turning on. Everything is ready. Yep, we're in. We're gonna see, go to the programming. Programming, enter direct, no, CV, yes. And we're gonna check CV1. This is the locomotive's address, and we're just gonna read it, and we have a 3. Standard, all decoders from Lenz are programmed in number 3 as a thing. Now Lenz also has got CV, which tells you any failures, and that's CV30. And if we're gonna clear, escape, go to CV and then press number 30, enter. It's gonna read it, and it says 0. If it is 0, then it's okay. If you get anything else, if you have bit 1, then you have a short circuit in your lights. If you have a bit 2, and I'm looking at it in French, I'm gonna look it up, and I'm gonna choose, back, clear this one, enter in number 3, enter, choose direction of travel forward here, you can see, and if it's right, this locomotive should go forward, and we've got it right.